Hi, I'm Debra. I'm at Eden Garden Center and Florist in Waukene, Kansas. Today we're going to be making a rainbow carnation corsage or boutonniere. This is a double duty tutorial. The corsage can be used with any color of carnation, and it's just the basic techniques that you need in order to make a simple corsage or boutonniere from a carnation. And then the other part of the tutorial is using floral paints to enhance or color flowers so that they match the occasion that you're needing them for. If you ask any of my high school students who have had corsages or boutonnieres made for prom, they'll tell you I'm the queen of paint. So anyway, I will get started on this right now. First you'll need a white carnation, and I've got some gorgeous white carnations right here. I have a habit of taking off the foliage as if I'm putting it in a vase. We'll be painting it before we cut it, before we make it into the corsage, because it's easier to handle with the longer stem. So a rainbow, the general colors that you need in a rainbow, there's 6. You're going to do purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. And what you'll do is shake your paint as you're getting ready to spray, and you're just going to use it on a portion of the flower. These were very, very popular when I lived in Hawaii. My very first job was in a flower shop in Hawaii. And we used to do these all the time because, as many of you may know, the football team for Hawaii's university is the rainbows. So you want to do them in the order of a rainbow. So it'll be purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, and then red. And we're just going to do them around the carnation. As you can see, it's got the purple and the blue on there right now. Green, I like to use fresh green. There is a darker green that's called Hunter green and one that's called Holiday green. I just like the fresh green better. You can use any colors that will work well for you or that you have available. Okay, so we've got 3 colors. As you can see, it's filling up most of the carnation, but as you put the rest of the colors on, they will blend. I try to do a little bit on the back as well, because if you run out of space, you've still got a little bit on the back that will enhance the color. Now, if you run out of space as I have, what you can do is use the red or the last color that you use, depending on which direction you go in the rainbow, for just the center. What I think I'll do is just try to squeeze it in there and see what it looks like. See if it takes. And it looks okay. Got our rainbow carnation. Nice, deep, rich colors. And we're going to let that sit for a minute, and then we'll go ahead and finish with the corsage. I've broken off a portion of the stem because it was too long. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut the stem to make it the length that we need to make a boutonniere or corsage. And I usually keep about 1 inch of the actual stem for carnations. And then we're going to use some 24 gauge wire, and this will give us a little bit of a fake stem, but it's a stem that is going to be a little malleable and able to be bent. And the first piece I put in goes directly through the calyx. And then the second one, I'm going to put it a little bit higher and also through the calyx. So now you've got 4 pieces of wire hanging down, and we're going to tape that to cover it up. What the taping does is it camouflages the calyx, the wires, and the mechanics, but it also seals the area to keep water in the carnation as much as possible. Now you're not going to end up needing a boutonniere that long, but we wait until the end to cut it so that we end up with a really nice finish. So we'll go ahead and do this. Now for a boutonniere, I won't normally put baby's breath filler in it. So we're just going to make a simple boutonniere first, and then I will go ahead and finish it off as a corsage. I like to use tree fern as my greenery instead of the fake rose leaves, because it just gives it a little bit more texture, gives it a little, it makes it a little bit more able to be designed instead of just a standard. It looks a little bit more classy, a little bit more high style, I think, with the tree fern. Tree fern is very airy, and it can be broken into lots of different pieces, which I love to use it because of that. It's very nice to add a little bit of richness to an arrangement. Okay, so we've got our tree fern on there, and as it stands now, this could be used as a boutonniere with nothing else. It's simple, it's pretty, and it would be a nice addition to whatever the occasion is. A lot of people know that rainbows are used for anything relating to the LGBT community, but they're also just colorful and beautiful, and little kids love rainbows. Okay, so this is about the length that you would want the stem, and then I either turn them up like this, or I will twist them onto a small dowel, and so you end up with a curly cube. Okay, so now we're going to add some baby's breath to our boutonniere and turn it into a corsage. And this is some nice thick, this is called overtime baby's breath. There's lots of different varieties of baby's breath. My favorite is called Million Star, and it's a much smaller flower, but this works just fine for a corsage. Nobody's going to be noticing the baby's breath. They'll be noticing that pretty rainbow carnation there. I always tend to try to get too many pieces on there and tape them all at once. I am old school when it comes to making corsages, and even the wrist corsages. I haven't yet gotten the nerve to utilize gluing, which is the new trend. I will probably try this next coming prom, try my hand a little bit at gluing, but I won't do it unless I know that it's going to stay together, because there would be nothing worse than spending money on a corsage that falls apart before the dance even starts. Okay, so this is basically all you need to add to make it a little bit more feminine, is a little bit of baby's breath and a bow. And so I'm going to make a really simple bow out of iridescent ribbon. Now it's kind of fluffy. You can spread it out a little bit. And you want it to look a little feminine, a little blingy. And so then you're going to add that to the bottom of the, bend the bow a little bit forward so that it faces forward. And you're going to add that to the bottom of your boutonniere to turn it into a corsage. When I first started, I was putting bows on everything, even boutonnieres, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I stopped putting bows on boutonnieres unless it's a really simple, sort of like a bow tie. I'll do that once in a while, just to give it a little bit of tie-in when we are doing wedding work. So, there you are. Now what I'm going to do is just trim the ribbon just a tad so that it's not all wild. It kind of hides anyway. But so this is your rainbow corsage. When I do boutonnieres, I normally use the pins with the black head, and when I do corsages, I use the pins with the white head. And then what you're going to do is just poke those through the back so that when the recipient opens it up, all she needs to do is take those pins out and pin it on, or her date can pin it on. And I always put 2 pins in case they lose one. So, this is your corsage, a rainbow corsage. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you'll join us for some more in the future. Thank you so much for being with us.